Tune into the sheep.
Yeah. Wait, I don't have like a okay, sheep on the moon. In the year where numbers have now dissolved into nothingness, at this time, there were 3 sheep that had genetically evolved after the earth has passed away, and they were able to grow wings, gills, and a stomach that was able to turn the particles in space into air. These sheep, these 3 sheep, decided that the next best place was the moon. And so they flew off and away. They flew all together, all 3 of them. And they linked hooves and they jumped into space. And it took them 3 flaps of their 3 pairs of wings. And they reached the moon. When they got there, the moon was an entirely different place. It was lush and green. There were cavernous caves filled with all sorts of ripe berries. The sheep were ecstatic. They were never able to see anything like this on Earth. And so they built new homes in the caves.
Sorry.
But unfortunately, a storm ravaged the planet. And in one fell swoop, in a matter of what we call 32 hours, the winds came in and sent asteroids and demolished the caves. But luckily for the sheep, they were able to bury deep into the underground. And that's when they discovered that the surface of the moon is actually very tumultuous, despite how fresh and delicious and amazing the grass is upstairs. So what they would do is they began to build a civilization deep, dark within the center of the moon. So at the very center of the moon, they started to fill it with sheep fur. Little did they know, or maybe they did know this, when you put sheep fur in the center of the moon, it combines with the gases and starts to release the right environment for a very interesting parasite to emerge from their fur. What does this parasite do, you may ask?
This parasite.
This parasite
Turns their fur into leaves.
What? Okay. No, we're gonna run with that. This parasite turns their fur into leaves. Uh-oh, that's not good. And so it began infecting the sheep colony on the moon. But you see, this parasite doesn't actually turn their fur into leaves. It just takes their eyes. I know, we can't even see the grass. It's
Is everything still going?
yeah. It takes their eyes and puts a green hue over anything that is white. So it ends up making them look like other sheeps are leaves. And when this happened, all hell broke loose. In a matter of minutes, in a matter of seconds, the sheep began turning on each other. No one was spared. Nothing was spared. The sheep began ripping each other apart by the seams of their fur, one by one, until one final sheep remained. And you might be asking, why were these sheep so ravenous? They had so much lush food. They had such a plentiful civilization built on so many fruits. Why would they, at the first sight of green fur, rip each other apart. It's because the first sheep who had brought them to the moon organized it all. He actually wasn't a sheep. He was a cow.
No.
He was a cow pretending to be a sheep.
And you know what cows eat a lot? Is the green grass.
Exactly.
So over time, as the sheep population was growing, this imposter sheep, this cow, taught the sheep inherently to eat the green grass. Because he knew that one day the green parasite would pop up. Wait, what was it called? The green. And it turns out he was actually protecting the sheep because they needed to eat the green. They needed to fight through the battles of.
Okay, scrap that.
I can't play and think of this.
No. Okay, so the cow actually brought these sheep aboard, right? And what happened is he purposefully did this so that the sheep would tear themselves apart. That's why they dug into the center of the moon and put all their fur into the middle. He knew all along that this would create the perfect environment for the parasites to inhibit the sheep. And this was also the perfect catalyst for him to fly in his cow friends.
His cow friends Jerry, Ben, and Terry.
But one of them was an imposter. End scene.
No.
What do you mean?
Scene 2.
Okay, scene 2.
Begins with a.
There was a knocking on the door. Which one was that? Jerry. It was Jerry. What did Jerry want? Okay, wasn't this supposed to be a 5-minute story?
Yeah, I thought it was gonna end a while ago.
Yeah, it was.
There's no like lesson.
No, okay, fine.
Or like moral, or like.
Okay, the moral is.
Not even moral, but like what happened to them.
Right. Okay. Well, the sheep all died. No.
No, but then it could be like their fur became the light of the moon that we see today. The like fur, it caused the moon to shine greatly, and the sheep no longer exist, but their fur lives on, like, and you can see them every night when you look up at the moon.
Let's go with that. Should I say that?
I don't think, yeah.
Okay, I mean, you. Okay. So the sheep populace quite literally eclipsed. But with this, their white fur began to shine, and the sun, taking pity on these poor creatures, who have befallen to this tragedy, the sun decided to send 3 rays for the 3 sheep that came down initially to the moon. And these 3 rays struck the silk of all the sheep's fur. And so, with this, the sheep's fur began to glow, frighteningly so bright that you could even see it during the daytime. And so, when you look outside tonight at the moon, you'll see how the sheep's fur has woven into the fabric of the moon to create the bright whites and grays that scatter across its surface.